What's going on, everybody? You're listening to Talking Callers. I'm your host, Money Mikes. And your co-host, KK, is visiting family, so she is out of town. But I did bring two lovely guests today, Amanda and Katie. And our mystery guest is back as well. Say something.
Ooh. I'm here, just no feet this time.
So, Amanda, Katie, we brought you on because you have a particular profession that we haven't talked about yet. And what is that?
Pet grooming.
Pet grooming?
Yes.
So like llamas?
No.
No? But you could?
No.
But we could.
You
Yeah,
could?
probably could.
I've done guinea pigs.
Ooh.
I've done rabbits. But mainly we do dogs and cats.
People actually bring in their rabbits and they're like, yo,
Yes.
I want a nice haircut.
I
and a
did
trim.
soft paws on a rabbit one time. They're
Soft
little
paws?
silicone caps that go on cat
Oh,
nails.
like the things cats?
Yes,
Yeah.
so that they don't like kill you. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I did that on rabbits one time. It was interesting.
so
for
you
sure.
have groomed a rabbit.
Yeah.
What about you?
I sheared a goat one time.
You
but-
shot a goat one time?
Sheared.
Sheared a goat.
Sheared a
one time.
goat. With clippers. Just cut its hair. No,
Oh my
no
gosh.
goat shooting hair.
That is fantastic. So in the world of pet grooming, sorry, I've always called it dog grooming, but I guess you're right, pet grooming
I do
would be
too.
the thing. You'd mainly do dogs though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems to be like every time I go somewhere, I see somebody, it's a dog.
Yep.
And that's a full service?
Yeah.
Depends on what you want.
So if I brought my dogs in, and I was like, yo, they need to be bathed, they need to be trimmed up, they need to be brushed, and they need their nails trimmed, and I'd prefer if their butt was tie-dye. You could do all that?
Yes.
We
Yes,
do have
you
blow
could.
pens, so I mean I could blow paint your dog's butt. Yeah, I could.
Okay, tell
I
me
could
more
do-
about a blow pen.
Do you remember blow pens from like when we were kids?
No.
You don't know.
They were like on the infomercial for like
Yeah.
1995.
They were in the back of like, a
As
magazine
seen on
too.
TV,
As
like,
seen
yes,
on TV.
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, no clue what you're talking about.
It's like clear and it's got the pen and then you
You
blow
actually
it.
blow them?
Yes!
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So you can dye them with like traditional like hair dye that they make.
Which
like
is what I was
colored people
assuming.
do.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it quick or doing something more like that, then you would just use the blow pin.
She
So-
just did a Westie the other day and gave him a blue mohawk on top of his head. It was super cute.
Okay. What is a blue Westie?
It's just a regular Westie, but I gave him a blue mohawk.
Yeah.
So he got a
Westies are
mohawk
white.
with-
Did I
with
say a
yes,
blue
What's a
Westie?
Westie?
Oh.
It's a little white dog.
I'm very limited on my knowledge of like
True,
types
true.
of dogs. I know there's a ton of dogs. In
Have
fact,
you seen Caesar, the food brand Caesar?
Yes.
I don't know. Are you
That-
allowed
yep.
to say that?
Yeah, you're fine.
The little white dog
The
on
little
They
white
would be
dog.
ecstatic to hear that you said their brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Anyways, yeah, the little white dog with like the tipped ears and the round face.
Okay.
That's a Westie.
That's a Westie.
Yes.
Okay.
But this particular one had a
In
mohawk.
the world
Yeah.
of TikTok, they're referred to as white crusty dogs now.
White crusty dogs.
White crusty
That's
dogs.
what we will refer to
That is
them
what they
as
are
from now
called.
on.
I will never remember that.
White crusty dogs.
I'll stick to Westie, but you can go with that, okay?
So I didn't know what I was doing when I first got Savannah, my first dog. And so I didn't realize like certain things you do like stick with them when they're puppies. So I let Savannah go outside and it had been like raining and whatnot for a couple days. We live in Oregon. And she decided she wanted to dig. And I didn't notice it until she reached China, basically. And so it's this mud pit that she was just like in. And she is covered in mud. And I was so mad that I was like, what are you doing? No. And I swatted her on the butt and I told her, no. But then what's the next move? Right to the bathtub, right? And so she's in trouble for digging a hole that she knew she wasn't supposed to be doing, by the way. This wasn't the first time she dug a hole. And I took her in the bathtub and I gave her a bath and she has hated baths since. She looks at it like a
by
punishment.
giving her a bath.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what else was I
Puppy
supposed to do?
101.
Hose her off? I should be afraid of the hose.
Well, I mean,
Well, anyway, so I took her to go get groomed one time. And I told the person that I was dropping her off with, I was like, so I did a thing when she was younger, and now she looks at baths like they're not fun, so just beware. And she's like, that's okay, you know, I deal with all kinds of dogs. And then when I get there, the lady was just like, look of terror on her face. She's like, you weren't joking. I was like, no, I wasn't joking at all.
I was trying to prepare you.
Yeah, like
Which,
if you don't want a tired leash to the spigot or something, so she can't.
Run
Apparently,
away.
Savannah jumped out like 4 times and got her whole shop just wet, soaking
Aw.
wet, soap everywhere, and let's just say I wasn't welcome back. So she was very unhappy with it.
oh,
But
that's sad.
so on that topic, what is the worst experience you've had? And Katie, you go first. Grooming a dog.
so probably the worst would be, I mean, you always have some dogs that like don't like to be in the bath, but we do this one particular doodle who's very aggressive. And so even though he was muzzled and tied, he would still grab me with like his giant paws and like try to pull you over the bathtub and like drown you while you're trying to go back.
Wow.
So that's
Just figured out who you're talking about.
Yes.
I hear you over here like, I was there for that.
And so just the sheer power of some of the dogs. And
Was
like,
she laughing her ass off, or was she actually helping you?
She
actually
wasn't
was
there
not there.
yet.
Oh, you weren't there,
Yeah, no. So being on like that end, when like you try to be gentle because they're dogs and animals, but also some of them are extremely powerful. So me just starting in the industry, I wasn't expecting kind of that power behind dogs, but they can literally like, he reached over, grabbed my head, and like pulled me halfway
Just
into
pulled
the
you
tub.
So I have a dog that's, he's 115 pounds, Shadow, and if you guys follow any of my other socials, you know the dog I'm talking about. He's adorable, but he is powerful.
He's huge.
Like, when he wants something, like, he'll do the same to me. He'll just grab me, and I'm just like, whoa, bro. Like, stop.
Simmer down.
So, okay. What kind of dog was that?
It was a sheepadoodle.
A sheepadoodle.
Old English sheepdog poodle mix.
Okay.
So
That sounds big.
big and,
apparently
a
powerful.
little squirrely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they all as ill-tempered as that, where they need to be muzzled? Is that like a common thing with the breed?
It's not uncommon actually in terms of doodles. The sheepadoodles tend to be a little bit more on the aggressive side.
Okay.
Just from what I've experienced and things that I've read from other groomers, that it's
'cause
just one of those.
You hear people say all the time, it's not the dog, it's the owner. Mm-hmm. And I agree with
Not
that
always
so
true.
much that, like, I've met nice pit bulls that would just love him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
cuddle him,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
And I've met
totally.
pit bulls that are like, how does that dog not been put down yet? You
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah.
geez. So,
I do agree completely. However, there are a lot of breeds that were bred to do something in particular, and you will never be able to take that gene out of, or those characteristics out of the way that they are.
So,
you
like,
know?
people get certain breeds of dog for specific
Mm-hmm.
character, personality traits, so to speak, right? So, like, our mystery guest has one of the most amazing dogs I've ever met as far as just... Well, first of all, it's the most hyper dog I think I've ever met, but at the same time, it listens
remember Denozo?
so well. Well, you're right. You do have this shepherd that is really hyper.
He's not a shepherd, he's a healer.
A healer. Sorry. See, clearly I don't know my dogs.
shepherd
She's the
mix.
shepherd, and she is amazing. Like, you were telling me that you take her like through the airports and stuff. You have a service vest for her. When that goes on, she becomes a completely different dog, right?
Yeah, she is probably one of the most insane dogs I've ever met, but she also knows when it's time to shut it off, and she gets really in tune to that, especially when you like, she'll put her vest on herself. Like, I just have to hold it out, and she'll just be like, where are we going, what are we doing?
She just uses her opposable thumbs and
Yep.
clicks things. And
yeah, everything.
Right.
All the
Up on the
videos
end, yes.
sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. And when
We'll post it on the website. Yeah. Right.
when I took her through the airport for the first time, I trusted her and I knew she was going to be okay, but it's still such a scary thing because I had never done it before. But luckily, the people at the airport, they're so nice. At least the people I got. I know there's a lot of bad experiences with service dogs, but she got groomed by them too, or maybe just by Amanda before.
That was me.
Yeah, Amanda groomed her before I took her through the airport because, there's a really high standard of cleanliness for dogs.
Well, yeah,
service
and she
dogs.
sheds a lot.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
god.
like my male dog sheds so much.
Yeah, and her hair's super long.
And it's
so-
white,
And
so
white,
it's very
yeah,
visible.
yep.
Yeah, on
yeah,
everything.
I'm sure we still left some on the plane, but I took like a lint roller with me, and I was like lint rolling.
Just
the plane
lint rolling
while everyone was
everything.
getting on. I was like,
Did they look at you
"Keep
weird when you're
over."
going through, like, when the baggage claims and stuff, like, where they're checking your TSA? Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah, it's super crazy. Well, and also the other thing about her being able to do that is she's a Australian Shepherd Red Heeler, so she's a Texas Heeler, but she's technically just a mix. But she's supposed to be a super hyper crazy dog. But she, like I said, she knows when to turn it off.
Yeah, she's
And
smart
she'll
as a
just-
whip.
she'll
Like,
just
she's doing my
focus.
taxes this year. I've already decided. So
Yes.
She's actually my assistant, so.
I was like, I got a W-2, two 1099s, I got a 1099S. Like, yeah, she got it all handled already. Look at her. She's just like, yep, I got you, bro. By the way, to those of you that are just listening to this and keep hearing the weird sounds, we are at the river. It's a beautiful day. Came down to the
We're at a
park,
boat ramp.
and there are boats out there and jet skis and probably all kinds of other aquatic toys out there.
Yes.
And every once in a while you're hearing the engines in the water and everything as they go by. To those of you that are watching on YouTube, you're probably seeing it, but to the rest of you, just want to give you a quick explanation. But Amanda, what is the craziest customer, I'm gonna call it. This dog was a customer. What was the craziest story you got?
This is gonna be a really funny story and probably really gross. So hopefully none of you have really weak stomachs.
Okay, do we want to take bets on if it's grosser or funnier? I'm going with it's probably more gross than funny.
Knowing Amanda and her job, I'm betting gross.
It's more gross.
Equally hilarious.
Equally? Okay.
Equally hilarious.
Okay.
I don't know if you know the story, but I know you do. Okay, so the lady that actually owns the shop that I work for now is the person who taught me how to groom 15 years ago, I think.
You've been doing this a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
I started when I was 15, and
Well, easy math makes you 30, so.
Anyways,
On.
so true.
Sorry.
I was drying a dog on the floor that was tied to a bank of kennels, and then so I was sitting facing this way, and Bev was facing this way drying a dog, so her blower was facing me. Well, this dog apparently got a little bit too stressed, had what they call stress colitis, which is bloody diarrhea, for those of you that don't know.
Okay.
And Bev goes, Amanda, and lifts the blower like this, and I go, what? And just caked me in bloody diarrhea. My mouth was open.
Oh, no.
So if anybody has ever asked you, how do you know what shit tastes like? Well, I do.
Wow.
Okay.
That's weird you say that
My
because
hair, it was so
have you ever
bad.
noticed like you know what things taste like even though you've never tasted them?
Yeah.
Like, and it's weird is your tongue knows what everything feels like.
True.
Like, if
But I
you look
haven't
at something,
licked
just be
something.
like, that feels like this on my tongue, I promise you. And if you went and licked it, it's going to feel like that. I don't know how your tongue has infinite knowledge of all this, but it just does.
Probably because of the weird crap we do when we're babies.
Yeah,
we
when
stick
we're babies.
everything in our
Yeah.
mouth.
Yeah, that could be.
You know, babies definitely do that, for sure. I don't know that I was ever a baby. I think it came out just like this. Poor
Probably.
Mom. R.I.P. Mom.
I definitely remember you younger.
You just
Yeah,
came
it
out
was
with all the
R.I.P.
swag.
Mom. Oh, man. Sad day.
If you give birth to a 6'3", 250-pound giant. Wow. So that is the grossest thing.
I told you it was nasty.
Like, Mike Rowe would love to have you on Dirty Jobs, I'm sure. If he was
Yes.
still doing that show.
Yes.
He would be
I've
about this.
definitely been pooped on. Actually, you just got crapped on the other day.
So this is like a normal thing.
Yeah, people
Yeah,
ask
what?
us, well, why is it so expensive? Well, do you shit on your hairdresser? Do you bite your hairdresser?
I didn't know it was an option. If it's
Your
an option,
hairdresser's your sister,
Yeah, my
so
sister
good
does
luck
my
with
hair.
that,
Yeah, so
right?
what's gonna happen? What's the worst that could happen? I get a bad haircut.
So next Monday, you just
Yes.
be
Yeah, I'll just.
like, see what happens.
You know what's funny is I did toot one time. Fart, for those of you who don't know what toot means. So I did fart one time while she was doing my hair, and she just started laughing hysterically. Like, she had to take like a 10-minute break before she
Like,
could go back.
what else are you supposed
Why
to
is
do?
that so? Because she has like a leather chair, you know, and when you fart on the leather, it like makes extra reverberation and stuff, you know, it's just ridiculous.
Nice. You're like, yeah, that one's for you, sis.
Yep, that happened. So
Yeah, that was nasty.
my boy dog, every time I take him for a walk, he poops at least once on the walk, sometimes twice. And we let him out before we go. Like, so he goes potty, and goes poop before we go anywhere. And for some reason, it's like a thing. My female dog never, not once has she ever had to poop while we're on a walk. My boy dog, it's like he lives for it.
So I just like
He's
to
like, I
crap
gotta
in
save,
random places.
I gotta
Yes.
save this for the walk later.
Well, and we go to like public places, like this public place we're in now, or like Hendricks Park. If anybody from Eugene knows, Hendricks Park is beautiful. And he has this also weird quirk where while we're walking, he doesn't just poop in the middle of the hike trail. He has to go over to like some tall shrubbery, and he has to poop on it, which means it usually rolls down the shrubbery and gets on him. And so I have like a water bottle with me so I can spray him off
my
every
gosh.
time. And you're trying to clean it up off every individual leaf, so because we have, we pick it up. We're nice about it, but yeah, no, he can never do it just in a nice, easy spot where it's easy to pick up. No, he has to go and find like blackberry bushes, and then you're trying to pick a poop up with thorns and the bag rips, and it's just disgusting.
disgusting.
It's just disgusting.
I was at Yamhill County Fair last week. Was that last week? I don't know. Anyways, and Denelzo, my healer puppy, decided that pooping at home wasn't good enough, and I had him at the rodeo. And so he was like, here, let me spin in some circles and take a nice giant runny dump right here for you. And I didn't have any poop bags. So I'd have my friend hold him and run to the barn, and somebody gave me a garbage bag. Mind you, it's runny, so I can't pick it up. And there's people everywhere, right next to a beer stand, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was disgusting.
So you got it up, though?
Not all of it. I had to put a giant leaf over the top of it.
So you know what my trick is? So I have a trick because my dog, he gets, usually if he takes the second one will be really runny too. And it's like he's just forcing it out. He's just like, digest, hurry up and digest. Yeah. So the trick is to get what you can up, and then there's dirt and stuff, and try to like throw it on top of it and kind of let it like absorb some of the poop, and then you can pick the dirt up. It's kind of like using natural kitty litter, I guess. It's like making your own kitty litter.
I would have had to like dig a hole, but
maybe you should have.
I mean, I was not prepared.
So for people that have dogs that just be pooping when they're out in public, right? Do they have, you know how you see horses and they're like pulling a carriage and they got like the catch
The
for the
poop bag?
horses?
Yeah.
Do they have those for dogs?
Yes, they do.
I'm just gonna strap it on like it's a back harness and it's got like a little catcher for my dog.
That could.
I did not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've seen them on service dogs before.
Oh.
I'll tell you what, if you ever look up anything on the internet and you can't find it, that's a win.
Right.
Yeah, you know, like if you can think of it, it's on the internet. And that's true for everything. Not just products like on Amazon. Like we were talking one time, and this is completely off subject, but just think of the nastiest thing you can think of, like the grossest thing that you're like, no way that exists. I promise you it exists, and the grosser it gets, the more views it has.
After watching your TikTok videos, I'm a little afraid to be searching on the Googles.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. You wind up on the hub real easy. So what's the biggest animal you've ever worked on? Or groomed, I should say.
Ooh. Probably.
Either a Newfie or
I was going to say a Newfie.
Like a Newfoundland?
But,
Yeah.
Yeah, those
but
are
those
big.
generally weigh more than Great Pyrenees just
Yeah.
because their mass is so much more.
The Great Pyrenees are Great Pyrenees.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have abbreviations for everything. They talk in code.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, what
Groomer code.
at my job, we use acronyms like no other, and sometimes I'll use them with a customer, and I watch them just go blank. They're like, yeah.
Do they agree with you? They're
Yeah.
like,
I'm like, well, first I need to get POI and POR, and they're just like, huh? I'm like, oh, proof of income and proof of residence. Yeah, sorry, my apologies.
yeah, I probably would have been like, okay.
Yeah, no, most people like try to act like they know what I'm talking about, like they don't find it, like, but you can just see it in their eyes. It's
Like
glaze
that moment
over.
of
They're
sheer
trying to
panic.
figure
They're
it
like,
out.
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
I know I have it. I just don't know what it is.
So, what's the smallest animal you've ever groomed?
Oh gosh, probably Yorkies.
Yeah.
Like tiny
Yorkies are
little.
tiny. They're like 3
Yeah.
pounds.
Cup
Yeah.
Yorkies
The guinea,
or
the guinea
poodles.
pig. If you know
Oh,
the guinea
okay,
pig, that's
true.
probably the smallest.
Little penny gigs.
Did you give it a mohawk?
No, I used to
Or a
show them in
mullet?
4-H, so I had to bathe them and
You
like brush them.
showed guinea pigs?
Yeah.
That's a
They're
thing?
actually
Our
called
whole living
cavies.
room was
Do
guinea
people
pigs.
eat guinea pigs?
Yes, and
Rude.
they do.
Like, do you roast them like over there? You just slow turn them?
I don't remember where they're from,
But
they
isn't
run
that the
around
4-H
wild
thing?
And people eat them.
Is you raise them for like, and then you auction them off and people
No,
sell
that's
them?
market animals, like steers.
Cows
Oh,
and
my bad.
turkeys.
My bad.
And only some of them,
Chickens?
not all of them. Some
Yeah.
people just have pet cows. that they
You know,
just
I
show.
bought some chickens one time, and you know the trick, if you're planning on slaughtering, right, you don't name them. That's just rule number 1 in the book. You don't name them. My wife couldn't help
Names
it.
every single one of them.
She couldn't
Yeah.
resist. I had 4 chickens. Actually, we got 6. Only 4 of them made it, which is, I guess, pretty common. That's what they were telling us. She's like, how many do you want? We were like, well, we want 4. She's like, buy 6. And so we did, and we wound up with 4. I was like, this lady knows what she's doing. Yeah. So at the farm supply, Coastal, if anyone knows where Coastal is, kind of like Tractor Supply. So anyways, I was like, yo, don't name them. But of course she named them, and one of them's name was Blondie. And it was your typical, yellow chicken, like
Yep.
like everyone sees. It's that
I
whatever
can
that is.
envision it
Yeah.
already. Yeah.
Okay, so it got to the point where it was time to slaughter them. And I grabbed a knife and I headed out back, and I told my wife, well, I have this thing about with Kirsten, our co-host, that if you eat meat, you need to take the life of an animal and eat it one time so that you can appreciate where that meat came from. Because
Yeah.
way too many people just go to the supermarket and then act like no animals were hurt. Like, I've
Yeah.
heard people say that.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, why would you do that when you can just go to the supermarket and buy a steak where no animals were hurt? I'm like, what?
Oh, jeez.
Please tell me you're not that
Yeah,
dumb.
right. So I think it's super important for people to understand that something gave its life for your sustenance if you're going to eat meat. And so that was the idea. Now, of course, Kirsten could not
Yeah.
cut the head off this chicken. And I wound up not being able to do it either. We wound up giving those chickens away because I went outside with the knife and I was headed over to the chickens, and Blondie just comes running to me like she's waggling her tail like a dog, excited to see me. And I was like,
Nope.
dang it.
Shoot.
all right, who do we know that wants chickens? And my buddy Isaiah, he was just like, yeah, I'll take some chickens. And so and they still have them. Their kids love them. They were great for them. Yeah, so needless to say, I still buy my chicken from the supermarket. But
How do we go from dogs to what?
well, we were talking about guinea pigs and 4-H.
Oh, right. That's
yeah,
right, okay.
and how I thought they were
We
for
don't
slaughter.
eat chicken.
Yeah,
We
and
don't
I
eat
found
chicken.
out,
I
but
meant
then
guinea
was,
pigs.
yeah. So, but I didn't show
Okay.
my chickens.
Right.
I do remember going and watching you show a horse recently,
Yes, I
It's
am
not
an
part of-
avid equestrian.
and that's not what you do for a living, but that is what you do
No,
as
but
a
I
hobby.
wish. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very-
no, but I wish.
I
So if anyone
wish.
out here is hiring or willing to, let somebody show your, $30,000 horses and make a living, you found her.
Actually, if you just want to pay for me to show my horse that I have completely started and finished by myself, that'd be even better.
I didn't know we were panhandling on the channel. So if you just want, my Venmo is 123-879-87.
Perfect.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, so what's harder to groom, dogs or cats?
Definitely cats. You
Yeah.
show them your arms, Katie.
Yes, no, so we do at our shop, we do Catterday Saturday.
Oh,
and so
okay.
we have lumped all of our cats into one Saturday a month.
I like the little play on words there.
Yes, and we tag team that, so it's a holding cutting situation.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can't
And-
just collar them and then pin them
Yes,
to the little
no.
thing,
Oh, no,
right?
no.
No, it takes a lot of
No.
manipulation. And most cats that we see are mostly successful. I ended up in the emergency room a couple months ago. I got bit by a cat, and if you know anything about cats, their mouths are disgustingly horrible.
Yeah.
Their
So-
tongues are like sandpaper. I know
Yeah,
that,
and they are
yeah.
full of bacteria. So I got bit. We cleaned it and flushed it really well at the shop. I did it when I got home. I went to bed. I woke up and had a golf ball sized lump on my arm.
I mean, it was black and blue within
was,
2 minutes.
yeah.
It was so bad.
Dang.
It was definitely
Yo,
penetrated
did you
my
finish
horn.
the cat though?
Yeah,
yeah.
we
Yeah.
did.
We're
Yeah.
not quitters around here.
No,
Like,
we're
you little
not.
Stain.
Yeah.
It was in the tub and
Nipped,
it knocked
just took the tip of his ear off too for good measure. Oh no, nicked him. My bad.
payback. No,
Right.
He was mad at it. It's fine.
pretty sure it was a she.
A she.
It was a
I don't
she.
remember.
Yeah, girl cats can be really.
They, boy cats. So I have a girl cat and I have a boy cat, and a girl cat's way more feisty. She's ready to throw down a lot quicker than my boy cat. My boy cat throws down harder though. Still, I'm just like, whoa. So,
Back up, bro.
But I don't have to worry about grooming him. He loves being brushed. They both love being brushed, but neither
you're
of them are
lucky.
long hair.
Yeah.
Except for he has this thing where, from his belly button, where our belly button is, because he doesn't have a belly button, right? But so from his last set of nipples, down through the insides of his legs, and his crotch area, he licks it so much that he's bald.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You told me about
Yeah,
that
and it's
last
the
time.
funniest thing because he just looks. He just,
Hey,
he
there's
just
less
looks-
hair.
Yeah, I'd
Brush.
say people
Yeah.
pay us to shave that part. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just
Lucky.
licks it all off. He's just like, I love it. So, okay, so emergency room, and your
Yeah.
work paid for that visit.
Yeah, workman's comp.
Okay.
10 days of antibiotics.
It was.
And it took about, I don't know, probably 2.5 weeks for it to go away.
And it's just infection that you're worried about.
Yeah, and it's cellulitis, and then it just starts to kill off the flesh on your arm. So some people don't recover from cat bites.
Oh, really?
So sometimes you get nasty, giant divots, and they have to scrape things out
Yeah,
and
it's-
do all kinds of things. So it
it's
is dangerous.
very dangerous, which is why I
Wow.
charge a lot of money for it.
Yes.
And people are like, "It's just, you just have
a
to
cat."
brush my cat." I'm like, "Yeah, well, your cat would try to kill me."
I'm
Okay.
s-
Cat's gonna scream the whole time.
Yeah.
So Kenzo, my boy cat, he likes to go outside. He's always begging to go outside. This year, he's 13 years old. This year, we finally caved and we let him out. And it's funny is I open the door. I'm like, all right, Kenzo, go, but be back in an hour. That cat comes back in an hour before. And he'll be at the door. I don't know how he knows. I swear my cat understands. He understands English. And he's very good. He's obedient, I guess.
He's a very good boy.
But that being said, there are a bunch of cats out in our neighborhood. And one time, I went outside and I heard him crying. And there was 3 cats closing in on him and one behind him on the fence. And I was like, come here. And he comes to me immediately.
Daddy, help.
And the other cats just look at me like, we were going to have lunch, bro.
Not on my kitty
Neighborhood
cat.
cat games.
Because he is just not used to But
The
I
streets?
think this summer with us letting him out more often now that I think he's gotten used to he might protect himself,
Yeah. Pretend himself.
defend himself. And I think that he likes hunting. I read a study recently that said that cats are serial killers. So what they did was they took 100 cats and they fashioned little cameras on them and they let them go. And they studied on average 37 hours of footage per cat. That's how much, I mean, this is science. And they found that cats kill, they bring only, you know how cats bring whatever home to show you? That's only 1 per 3 that they kill. And they only eat 27% of what they kill. And they don't kill just like one thing. They'll kill snakes, birds, whatever they can get, whatever they can kill. And they do it for sport.
A lot of it, coyotes do it, wolves do it. It's really common. I also learned from TikTok that when your cat brings you a mouse or like brings you something, they're not doing it because they're proud. They think that you are such a terrible hunter that you can't provide for yourself, so they're bringing you something to do.
No, bro, I go to the store like everybody else.
No, my cats don't know to go to the store. So my cats, and I tell them this all the time. I'm like, listen, I go out and I work my ass off to get this stuff home for you guys. And I put it in this nice little baggie, and I prepare it so you guys get a nice little cupful every day.
And then Shadow comes and eats
And then Shadow eats it, yeah.
My cat just screams at me. If she can see the bottom of the dish, there could be food all around.
Oh, that's my girl cat.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
she will sit there.
I just
and
take it
yell at
and I
me.
shake it so
and
the
then-
bottom's not showing anymore,
and then
and then
she's
she
fine.
eats it. Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Dumb. It's so dumb.
They're needy.
They are.
And if their litter box is like not in pristine condition, they're like, fine, guess I have to pee on your bed.
Yeah. Or he poops on the floor
Dramatic.
right in front of the litter box. And he'll pull litter out of the litter box to cover it.
Last time
on
I
the
was
floor.
at your house, my mom was going to the bathroom, actually, and the cat went to the bathroom with her and then crapped right outside the box,
Yeah.
right next to her.
It's almost a
was a
daily
potty
thing.
party?
I cannot break him of it. I don't
That's
know.
so
what's,
weird.
Yeah. I just want to. Yeah, I'm gonna try getting a like a top entrance litter box.
Yeah, maybe
yeah,
he
yeah.
just needs a different litter box.
So he's a weirdo. Like he perches on the side of, because where it's at, there's only one edge that he
True,
can
yeah.
get to.
Right.
He literally puts all 4 paws on it and perches like a bird.
He needs the position.
Yeah.
The
He needs to
They
be able
need
to
a
go all the
kitty
way around it,
squatty
right?
potty.
So if I get one of those top entry ones, watch, he's just gonna be up there just bombing, just dropping bombs.
You might as
and-
well just teach him to go on the toilet.
Yeah, right. I should. I probably should.
That would be hilarious.
So what's the most dangerous thing? So we know that she got attacked by a cat. What's the crazy story you got?
Thanks to her, cat
Yeah.
grooming's usually like easy for me.
Well, my sister-in-law's a vet tech, and she says some of these things too, where it's kind of like crazy.
It's definitely scary. Like, I think the last cat that we did last Catterday was.
I just love that you guys call it Catterday. That cracks me
It
up.
was. It started off a really good cat, and then all of a sudden it was super not okay and tried to kill you, kicked the e-collar off. So I went to grab it, and it latched onto her arm. And so I went to try to remove it, and it was glued to you. So I let it go, and then she let it go, and it took off jumped off the table across the room, and I had to like use a broom to swoof it back into its kennel. And I was like, okay, well, that's that. And
If you use a Swiffer, it would have worked better because of the swoofer that you said. Yeah. I had to swoof it with
I had
a
to swoof
Swiffer.
it. So I think I had like 2 nails left, and the cat was done. And it freaked out. So I had to call its mom and be like, hey, it's as done as it's going to get.
Did you
Come
quick
get
it?
No.
No?
And she's like, so you can't like pull it back out and finish it? And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it back out.
You should
And
tell the
she
lady,
was like,
you come in and you hold the cat and I'll clip the last 2.
Seriously. I was like,
But people do offer to be like, oh, I'll come in and hold my cat or my dog, but the liability is so huge
So
there
bad.
because people think that one,
Their cat isn't going to do that to them.
yeah, or
Like, your cat
they're in
doesn't give
control of
a
that
crap.
environment, and I'm like, absolutely.
So
like,
my cat absolutely
totally.
would. So like I was telling you, start letting him outside, and so we clipped his nails the other day, and he's always been like kind of cool with it, like he tries to not let you. So this time, like I hold him and Kirsten clips his nails, and we've never quicked him. Like, he's got clear nails; it's easy not to quick him.
Super easy.
And so I'm holding him, and he started to go ballistic, like what you're talking about. And so I grabbed him by the back of the neck, and I had him back, and he didn't care still. He bit Kirsten twice. He's never bit her before, ever.
Wow.
And I was like, she's going to get this done. And I grab his paw, and I'm holding like this, 13 pounds of cat hanging here. And she finally gets that last nail, and I put him on the ground, and he just looked at me.
I was so mad.
Yes.
And then I let him outside immediately. I was like, this is what you get. You can't defend yourself. Go outside. He didn't leave the backyard.
He was like, I can't do this.
He knew what was up.
Took my
That's
murder claws
funny.
away.
Yep. No, I think that's what it was. I think he realized like his claws are very useful outside.
Yeah.
And we're taking
like,
away
"Oh,
his
that's why I
tools.
have these."
Yeah. and he did not like it.
My
female cat, we did hers like right afterwards. She loves it. She'll sit there.
That's so
She'll sit
weird.
there and let you file them, and she'll purr. She's like, oh, and she tries to push into the file, And
She's like, love this.
but she completely
me.
forgot afterwards, and she went to try to run and jump onto her cat post thing, and she always runs. She grabs, she jumps and halfway is all she gets, so she pulls herself up the rest of the way. No claws. Straight fell back down to the ground. I felt so bad for her, and she
But
just
you
looked,
laughed, didn't you?
She looked at me like, Dad. I was like, oh, poor thing. She's 16 years old too, so yeah.
I think the biggest thing that people tell us, like after we groom their cats, is they'll take one cat home that's been groomed to the cats that haven't been groomed, and their cats will fight.
They act like, where have you
Yeah.
been, bro?
Yeah. Dogs will do it too, but it's way more common in cats.
Yeah.
My dogs come inside from outside. My cats smell them like, where you been?
What
My
you been
cat
doing?
goes out, comes in from outside. The dogs smell him like, where you been? It is the weirdest thing.
Very territorial.
So how much does it typically cost for a full service? For a bath, a shave, a shower, not a shower, a blow dry, and nails?
So that would be what we call like a full service groom. So we do either full grooms or bath and tidies, which are if they don't need a major haircut, that we just kind of trim them up. Think of like golden retrievers, and then we also just do bath dogs. So like your pit bulls or your in between dogs. So a full service
run it by me.
groom.
What are all these different ones going to cost?
It really depends on the size of the dog.
Okay, so I have a
we go by
115-pound
weight.
dog.
Oh.
His name's Shadow.
Pull out your wallet.
Super easy.
So just a regular bath is going to cost you $90.
Okay.
If you want a D-shed on him, that's $25 more.
Okay, because he definitely needs
Just
a
a nail
D-shed.
clip comes with. If you want him dremeled, that's $5 more. You want his teeth brushed, that's $10 more. How much money you got, bro?
You're my cousin. So.
Yes.
So
I
that's
still
plus
pay
20.
enough
That's
price, and I'm the
$25 friend
You pay her
tax.
full price?
Yeah. Plus I tip her because I'm a good sister.
I don't charge you full price, but yes.
All right.
But then, like,
Well, being on the podcast just cost you one dog room.
so then, like, doodles. Let's say your dog was a doodle and it's 90. Let's see, how much? It's 140
Yeah.
base price.
15 years, you don't even know what the prices are.
Well, it does
Just
go.
start-
It does go up though with
Yeah.
like the fact that our minimum wage just jumped up like $1.50, like that.
All our prices
Like,
just
that's
changed
right.
in
Organs,
July.
yeah, organs.
Getting our shampoo has been one, impossible to get, and then two, their prices have increased almost double since the whatever. So like our prices have to go up, which people hate.
That is super important to talk about too, because everybody knows the supply chain has been broken for some time now.
Mm-hmm.
I was we have these little convenience stores called Dairy Mart, and they sell Lockmead ice cream. Lockmead's a dairy down in Junction City, Oregon. And they were saying that they're having trouble getting some of their flavors. They're having trouble getting some of their packaging, and they're sorry for the inconvenience. But and it affects everybody. And I wouldn't have thought, I did not until you just said it. I didn't put it into dog grooming.
Yeah.
Because you guys have supplies, and the
And-
supply chain is broken, and it affects you.
And a lot of people go, why are you charging more? You're doing a service. You're not providing us with a thing. But it's also the fact that, now because everybody pushed for minimum wage to go up, bathing is an entry-level job in our industry. But now our entry-level jobs we can't even compete with Taco Bell, who's paying their employees $16 an hour to make a taco. When
Usually it's a Crunchwrap Supreme if I'm there.
well, it's a difference, sour cream. But that's part of it too, is that minimum wage has gone up. Our minimum wage has gone up, and now we have to get people into those entry-level positions.
Not to mention, our job, like being a bather, is 20 times harder than making a taco. Like, no, I've never worked at Taco Bell, so I'm sure there's stresses out there, so don't come at me. But, like, you have to make sure the dog is complete.
We need somebody that works at Taco Bell to get a hold of me. MoneyMikes85.com. Go to the contact us. We're going to get you on the show.
Yes.
Can I have a taco, please? You cannot chintz on making sure that dogs are clean and fully dry. I cannot do a good haircut on a dog that is still damp at the skin. Like, it just doesn't work, and it is hard to find employees. We have been through so many bathers that just don't cut it.
So I didn't know that you didn't do the bathing. So you don't do the whole service. Someone else bathes the dog, dries the dog, and then you just do the cut.
I used to work at Wilco, and there
Which is a feed store, right?
yeah,
Okay.
I would bathe, dry, and groom my own dog. I got paid more commission. But here we have bathers, which actually we're able to groom more dogs in a day because we have somebody do that portion
Well,
of
that makes
the job.
sense. It's kind of like a production line. You have
Yeah.
a production system going on.
Exactly.
So the two of you do more just of the nail cutting and the hair cutting.
That takes a lot more precision.
Yeah, it's a
Using
skill.
sharp
It's
objects
yeah, it's
near
a skill
someone's
thing.
pet, Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not taking the scissors
Well,
to my
no.
own hair either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I go get a
I do.
haircut. Yeah, I go to somebody for a haircut. I'm sure I send my dog to somebody for a haircut. I do know somebody that cuts her own dog's hair. She has a Yorkie, and this dog looks like it belongs in a trailer park or something. You know what I mean? With its haircut.
Yep.
She's terrible at it, and I'm
Kinda
like, you
like
should
the
probably
chicken that
pay
just
somebody.
walked by.
Yeah, you should probably pay somebody to do your dog. But whatever, that's fine.
Yep.
But we do get that a lot of people will, like, especially during COVID, because we were shut down for 2 weeks, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, my dog needs a haircut in these 2 weeks. So we get tons of people who buy expensive clippers and try to cut their own dogs and realize how extremely difficult it actually is, even though we make it look easy. And then we correct a lot of home groom haircuts, and a lot of people go, I had no idea that it was as hard. So the reason why it's expensive, we totally get. And a lot of people kind of stopped complaining.
So everybody
More
should try
respect.
it once on their own
Yeah,
dog, and then they'll just respect the price
do
after
it.
that.
Do it carefully.
But don't cut it.
Yeah, don't do
Don't
that.
cut your
There's
dog.
lots of those.
So many people, they're like, oh, there was a mat, so I just grabbed the mat, pulled it up, and cut it with scissors.
And it was skin.
It's a
The
skin.
amount of people that have come in with holes on their dogs.
Yeah, because they cut it right off.
Yeah, they don't think about that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
people don't always. Yeah.
oh my god.
The general public just defeats me sometimes.
Yes.
Well, I have a funny story, I guess. It's not really, I don't know how funny it is, but you used to have a cat. And speaking of cutting your own animal's hair, me and your mom shaved it with regular trimmers one time.
Whoa. Like when I was little?
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
a cat? I don't remember a cat
Well,
when I
it
was
wasn't
little.
as little you were, but there were 3 cats in the house. And,
Oh.
yeah,
Where were you?
So, regular human clippers don't work on animals.
No.
This cat was so messed up from the job that we tried pulling off with the regular human hair cutting clippers.
Oh my gosh.
It was the funniest thing to do. And the cat was just so docile, it just laid there. It was just like, okay. Just
In
let it-
Newburgh when you lived with us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
absolutely.
those cats.
Yeah.
I don't remember anyone. Which cat was it? Was
I
it
don't remember his name.
black and white?
It was. I think it was the black and white one. Yeah, the
Bubby.
black with the very small. Yeah, Bubby.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, he was just chill. He'd hang on the back of the
Yeah.
couch all the time, and just like,
Oh yeah.
it was the laziest cat I ever met.
You shaved him? Oh my
Yeah, we
God,
shaved
that's
him.
horrible.
Well, we attempted to shave
They
him.
said try.
Yeah, it takes
poor
special
cat.
cutters
Oh yeah.
Yes.
to do. Yeah.
And cat hair will bind blades. Like we have professional grade blades, and it'll still bind them right up.
Yep.
And the
So
difference between dog skin and cat skin is crazy
Ooh.
too. So you can like cut a dog the way you'd cut, and your skin would open. But if you cut a cat skin, it just completely separates because the skin is not attached to the muscle.
Yeah.
So it's just like you fillet it,
I
one little thing, and they've got pockets.
I was brushing a cat out with a comb one time, a metal comb, and there was
Yeah.
a mat. So I slid my comb under there and pulled up, and little did I know one of the tines had went into the skin, and so I pulled the mat out, and it sliced the dog off. Oh my gosh. I felt so bad. Like, and you couldn't tell, like pulling a mat out just releases from the hair. I had no idea. Oh. Horrible.
I'm a fisherman, and as a fisherman, I sometimes have fishing poles with hooks still, tied.
Oh yeah.
And I came home when Kimba, who is my female cat, she's the 16-year-old, but she was probably 2 at the time. And I put my fishing pole in the corner of the dining room because that's where I decided to put it, right? And she's over there sniffing on it. And I was like, oh, because there's a hook. And I was like, get away, because I had the hook all the way down into the handle. She turned around and she went to run away, but she spun out and hooked herself right, like where the Achilles goes. Yeah, but not through her Achilles, just like into the skin. And then she kept trying to get away. Obviously, she didn't get very far. And I grabbed her, and I'm like, it's a barbed hook. What do I do?
Right.
So I had to get the pliers out and push it back through another part of her leg to get it through so I could cut the barb and then pull it out. And she hasn't gone near a fishing pole again since.
I don't blame
Right, no
her.
more catfishing for you.
Well, I don't even, ever since then, I've never let a hook be that close to the ground or
Yeah.
anything because I
Oh,
know the animals.
man.
Yeah. And that was terrifying for her. She was, it was devastating. It was traumatizing. I think that's the word for it.
Traumatizing,
Yeah.
yes. Very much.
So you've worked multiple places dog grooming or pet grooming.
Yeah.
So
I do it too.
how about you?
Actually, no, I just started about 4 or 5 years ago.
And
In
you've just been the
this-
same
Yeah,
place the whole time?
before that I taught 3rd grade for a little bit and preschool for a while, and I was
What'd you
been a
teach 'em?
photographer and mostly ABCs.
Yeah. Okay.
Social-
So when we don't
social
file
emotional
the
things.
cards right, like
Yes.
if there is one wrong,
She was like A, B, C, D,
Yes,
E,
I'm like-
F, you, and your dog.
Yes.
That is a shop classic. Yes, for
So
sure.
what made you change to dog or
So
pet grooming?
honestly, I moved from the area that we lived in for my whole life, pretty much, out here for relationship, and I was like, we're trying something new. My kids are a little bit older, and then while I was teaching Head Start, actually out here, it's the first time I've taught their Head Start program. I was looking for another part-time job to help fill that financial gap because I do have 4 kids that are expensive. And I met a lady who bred dogs. And so she needed somebody to just come in and help clean up or whatever. And I was like, perfect. Has nothing to do with kids. Has nothing to do with people. Totally going to do it under the table job a couple evenings a week just to get out of the house. Perfect. And it turned in that she was really good. She became my mentor for our breeding dogs. And then when she went to move, she was friends with the shop owner that Amanda works for, and so she's like, hey, you want to come be a bather? So I started as a bather in that shop, and now I'm on a table. So
Wow. How long were you a bather?
probably about 2 years or just over a year and a half.
And did you ever like have any issues with like drowning dogs?
No, but I'm pretty sure that I gave a couple dogs ear infections because
you have the water in
yeah,
there.
and some
Yeah.
dogs totally hate that, and so
I found out that so I have a buddy who just got, gosh, I cannot think of the name of a dog that he got, but it's a floppy ear dog, and he was telling me that like he has been lucky that he hasn't had any of the floppy ear issues, and I was like, what do you mean? Because like one of my dogs has floppy ears, and
Yeah.
I've never had issues, and he was explaining to me, he says the moisture can't evaporate out, so it gets in there, and they wind up with ear infections a lot because of it, and they get a lot of earwax and whatnot.
and yeast really bad.
And yeah, I guess that's
Yeah.
what the thing he was saying. And I was like, I had no clue that was a thing. And I guess I'm just lucky that Shadow never has an issue. But I like clean his ears all the time because he
Yeah.
gets like the black soot or whatever in there. And so I like go in there with my finger and just kind of, because it's a big dog. I don't have to use a Q-tip. And it's gross because if like I'll go in and I'll go to like wipe it on a towel or something, and he goes for it and licks my finger. Like he loves it. He's just like, let me have it. You know, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, wow.
So gross.
You pluck dogs' ear hair and they want to smell it and eat it. And
He's so nasty that if I sneeze, he comes running. Yeah, so I sneezed one time,
Nope.
and a little bit of it
Nope.
like hit the floor. He jumped on it, and I was like, "Oh, what the? That's great!" And so he got like a taste for it, and now every time I sneeze, he
no.
comes running. He's just like,
that-
"Dad,
probably
Dad," it's
'cause
like
it's salty.
It's like he thinks I have treats for him. Like
put
it's
it in
a
the
treat.
trash and
It's
start over.
so
That's too
bad.
much. That's too much.
It's so bad.
Well, we say that way too much at work.
What?
Put it in the trash. Like we'll have a horrid dog on the table, and we'll just like put it in the trash. Start over.
The whole dog?
Yeah.
Oh, put the whole dog in the
The whole
trash.
dog in the trash.
But you wouldn't actually do that. You love animals way too much.
So much. We love them.
Put the
all
owners
so
in the
much.
trash.
I mean, at that point,
There
the
are a
dog's
few.
already ruined. Just get a new one. Start over.
So the both of you at the same place, and this is going to be a little plug because if anybody that lives in this area, we are up in Newburgh, Oregon. Newburgh, McMinnville area, Tigard, it's a lot of the surrounding areas. If you're from here, you know the area. If you're looking for somebody, a professional somebody or some buddies to groom your dog or cat or guinea pig, I actually really hope that one of you listening has a llama and you give them a call.
We also really hope that too.
How do they get a hold of you?
Well, you can find us on Facebook. It's
Okay.
Royal Rover Grooming.
Royal Rover Grooming. We're going to put a link on the website
Yeah.
so that they can get to it right away. I'm going to have to figure out how to do that. And by me, I mean our mystery guest. She does a lot of the website. She does all of the website stuff. Basically, I had bark orders, and she just does things.
I just get on my little computer.
Did you
and I
do that? Was that pun intended? You
What?
bark orders?
Yes. I make puns.
You said punny.
Wow. You do too much.
Sorry.
Wow. So, I have no clue how long we've been recording for. I don't know if it's been long enough or if it's been short enough, but I wanted to make sure to give you guys a shout out for what's the name of the company you work for?
Royal Rover Grooming.
Yeah, we said that just a second ago. And neither of you own it, right? There's someone else that owns it?
Yes.
And they're going to be totally cool with us giving them free advertisement?
I forgot
I'm
to ask her,
sure.
but yeah.
Okay, well, good. So this isn't going to, it's not like it's posted right
Yeah,
now. I mean,
true,
it is
true.
by the time these people are listening to it, but
Yes.
you'll have time to get permission.
Yeah.
And at this point, you kind of have to because
Yep.
this is getting posted either way.
Whoops.
So, Also want to give a big shout out to everybody that has been following the podcast so far. Everyone that's been listening. I've noticed that Spotify is the main source of all my listeners. And then we do get a lot of you on YouTube. So for those of you that are just listening, if you ever want to watch a video or an episode that you've seen, and you just want to see what we're doing or what the guests look like, or or like this beautifwilday out here at the Willamette River in Newburgh, Oregon, head on over to YouTube and you can see what's going on. And if there's a way for you to give us some feedback, like it said YouTube or reviews or anything like that, we'd love to hear from you. And if there's not, there's always a way to get a hold of me. MoneyMikes85.com. Hit the contact us link. If you just want to say, hey, you did a great job, or hey, I'd prefer if you did this, or hey, could you talk about this? Let us know. Absolutely want to hear from you. But that is all for today's episode. Amanda, Katie, mystery guests, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Although I do have one question.
Oh, you have a question?
So what color is our work collar?
So
actually?
that's a really tough one because it falls into a few different categories. But it's blue collar because it's manual labor. You're doing blue collar, and you're not actually dealing with the general public so much as you're dealing with animals. So you could.
We have to talk to them every day.
Would a hairstylist be the same thing?
No, hairstylists would be pink collar because they're dealing with like it's like retail, like they're dealing with the general public. So you would be like, which is funny because pink collar really is just a mix between white collar and blue collar.
So what I'm hearing is I'm a cotton candy collar.
There you go.
Yes.
We'll just make up a collar.
Yes.
Your cotton candy. Yeah,
Slightly
we'll just go with
performing
cotton
hair.
I
candy.
love
If
that
you
for
had a
me.
receptionist or something, you would probably just be blue collar.
Yeah, because you're doing the
True.
manual labor
Yeah,
part of
but
it.
like I have to check them.
So
out
it's
and
more like
everything.
we're car detailers instead of hairstylists.
Yeah, you're dog detailers. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good. I know I was trying to end the episode, but I do have one last thing to do. Do you guys ever have to suppress the glands?
Oh, that is.
Is that a thing you do? Where you just go express
anal glands.
anal glands? Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Do they squirt?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten it in my mouth, on my face, my hair. Yeah. I just like the taste.
You don't like
You like the taste?
No,
you like the taste? You heard it here. Amanda likes the taste of the expressed anal gland.
No.
But also, when we were talking about cost, so people are like, why is it so expensive? It costs more than my haircut. So next time you go to your barber, say, what would it cost to do wash my hair, cut my hair, do a sanitary shave on me, and express my anal glands? And if they give you a price,
You forgot about shaving.
I will happily
And a manicure.
Yeah, I'd happily
and a
match.
pedicure.
And a
I
teeth
would
cleaning,
match.
you gotta brush your teeth.
I'd totally match that price. So if you're,
But you also have to try to bite them and see if they kick you out.
right. But if your hairstylist
And if
will
they don't, you
express
might
your
wanna get their
anal
number.
glands and not charge you an arm and a leg,
I don't
then
think I have anal glands needing expressing, but if they want to try,
you ask your
No.
hairstylist
Yeah,
and
no.
let us know
Well,
what
his
she says.
hairstylist is
my
his
sister. Yeah.
Perfect.
Hey, Crystal, do you mind expressing my anal glands? No. She would probably slap me. What did you just said to me? So, anyways.
Can somebody get that so we can put that on YouTube? That would be hilarious.
Well, anyways, thank you so much. This has been great. From all of us here, thank you so much for listening. You guys are the reason why we do this. That being said, we're out.
Bye.
Peace.